decades, the Nolans have brought the world joyful melodies, music waves filled with happiness. But behind the stage lights, there is a story that the audience has never fully heard. In October 2025, at a tribute concert, the Nolan sisters suddenly burst into tears when mentioning Linda, who passed away after a courageous battle with illness. But that night, they did more than sing. They revealed untold memories, silent secrets that had been kept for decades. This is not just a tribute. This is an opportunity for the public to hear for the first time the hidden truth behind Linda's life, a truth that not only moved fans, but also changed the way they viewed the Nolan sisters. Many people once believed that the Nolans were the perfect image of sisterhood in music, but when the curtain fell, the truth was much more complicated. That tribute concert was more than just music. It was a belated confession, a voice from the heart that Linda never had the chance to say herself. And when those words rang out, the audience understood that the story behind Linda Nolan was more painful than they imagined. But the truth behind it all was much darker. Before the spotlight called her name, Linda Nolan was just a little girl growing up in a large family in Dublin, Ireland. The Nolans had 8 siblings, and music was the strongest bond between them. In 1962, the family moved to Blackpool, England. It was here that Linda's childhood was associated with long days of practice in a small house where singing echoed to drown out the hardships of life. Linda was not the eldest sister, but she soon became the heart of the group, the one who always kept the atmosphere happy and encouraged her sisters when the pressure was heavy. Childhood friends say Linda was always full of energy. She was a storyteller, a jokester, and also the best listener. That personality not only helped the Nolans shine later, but also the reason why fans loved Linda. They saw in her a closeness and warmth. It was also a time when a strong bond was formed between the sisters. From singing nights in the living room to small performances in the local hall, the Nolan family gradually became known. And Linda herself, with her bright smile and sincerity, became the soul that everyone remembered. But that childhood also hid difficulties: strict parents, a tight practice schedule, and the feeling that they had to sing not only for passion, but also to sustain life. Linda grew up under that pressure, and it left invisible marks. This was the foundation that created the person Linda Nolan would become: strong, emotional, but also filled with sadness that no one knew. By the late 1970s, the seemingly impossible dream had become a reality. The Nolans, with Linda at their center, exploded onto the big stage. In 1979, the song "I'm in the Mood for Dancing" became a global hit, propelling the group from small Blackpool venues to international fame. Japan, in particular, became the most passionate market, where the Nolans were dubbed the Queens of Pop. In all their performances, Linda was always the face that fans talked about the most. Her radiant smile, her youthful style, and her connection with the audience. For Linda, fame was more than just an opportunity. It was a responsibility. She understood that every time she stepped on stage, she had to bring joy to thousands of people. And she did it naturally, making the audience feel like they were singing with a friend, not a distant star. During those years, the Nolans were more than just a family band. They were a symbol of optimism. But behind the tours, behind the spotlight, Linda also began to feel tired. Sometimes between dozens of consecutive concerts, she had to try to hide the tension and pressure. However, the peak years were still the period when Linda shone the brightest. Millions of records sold, TV shows, international tours,
all created the image of an irreplaceable star. And in the eyes of fans, Linda was more than just a singer. She was a companion in their youth.
Behind the bright lights and friendly smile, Linda Nolan had to face her own darkness. Entering the 2000s, Linda was diagnosed with breast cancer. The news was not only a shock to her family, but also heartbroken to millions of fans around the world. But unlike many artists who chose to keep it a secret, Linda chose to face it publicly. She appeared on television, in interviews, frankly sharing her journey of fighting the disease. What moved fans was the way Linda used her own pain to spread hope. She said, "If I can still laugh, then anyone in this situation can find strength." However, years of treatment left Linda exhausted. Chemotherapy, hair loss, long days in the hospital, and she was not always as strong as the press reported. In her private diary, Linda wrote about her fear. The fear that one day she would leave a void in the group, in her family, and in the hearts of her fans. Besides her illness, Linda also suffered a lot from her personal life. Losing her beloved husband, Brian Hudson, in 2007 caused her to fall into depression. Everything accumulated into quiet moments where Linda looked straight at reality. The halo could not hide the loneliness. This is the part that the audience rarely saw. Another Linda, fragile, full of fear, but still fighting. October 6th and 7th, 2025. The stage lights up, and thousands of people wait in silence. The Nolans appear together, no longer the cheerful pop group of years ago, but sisters who have lost an irreplaceable piece. From the first notes of the music, the atmosphere is choked. Linda's image is projected on the giant screen. From her youthful, vibrant years to her days fighting illness. The audience cannot hold back their tears when they hear, "I'm in the mood for dancing again." This time, not a song of youth, but a farewell. The shocking moment is when Colleen Nolan bursts into tears in the middle of the song, unable to continue. The remaining sisters rush to hug her, and the whole audience immediately stands up, singing for them. It is more than just a musical performance. It was a rare moment when the line between artist and audience disappeared, leaving only love for Linda. Then Maureen and Denise shared memories that had never been made public. Linda was the one who always quietly stood behind the sisters when they argued, the one who held them tight when everything became too much. The story left the audience speechless because they realized Linda was not only the Nolan's voice, but also the heart that kept the group together. That night, the Nolans did not just sing for Linda. They admitted their deepest memories, things they had never told the public. And when the last light went out, everyone understood. This was a night no one could repeat. After the tribute night in October 2025, one thing became clear. Linda Nolan left behind not only music, but also a legacy of strength, solidarity, and family love. The never-before-told words shared by the sisters made the public realize that Linda was more than just a singer in a famous pop group. She was the glue that kept the sisterhood together through many storms, the one who chose to laugh instead of cry to lift the group's spirit, and an example of a tireless fighter against a serious illness. Immediately after the show, social media was flooded with tributes. Fans shared photos, clips, and memories associated with Linda from decades ago. Many young audiences who had never even listened to the Nolans when they were active also expressed their emotions when discovering Linda's journey through this concert. In Blackpool, where the Nolan family started, fans set up a small memorial with flowers, photos, and handwritten notes. "Thank you for singing with us, Linda." For the remaining Nolans, the tribute night did not end with sadness, but with a promise to continue singing, to continue sharing, so that Linda will never disappear from the memories of fans. Linda's legacy, therefore, lies not only in her songs, but in the message she left behind. Love and family are the greatest hits of life. And for millions of fans, every time Linda Nolan is mentioned, they will not only remember a singer, but also a sister, a friend, a silent warrior who touched their hearts.